Good morning, Year 1. Maths for Wednesday. We're going to be looking at ordering numbers today, and we're going to be doing them in ascending order, which means from the smallest number up to the biggest number, and descending order, which means from the biggest number down to the smallest number. So you need to look very carefully at which way I would like you to order them. Okay, so first of all, very quickly, just a quick recap. I'm going to point to a number, how many tens, how many ones. We're only going to do a couple today. This number, how many tens, how many ones. Excellent. 5 tens, 5 ones. And again, how many tens, how many ones. Excellent. 7 tens, 3 ones. We'll do one more. How many tens? How many ones? Fantastic. 5 tens and 8 ones. Well done. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to be using our understanding of how many tens and how many ones in a number to help us order them today. Okay, now yesterday, who can tell the adult or the person next to them, what were we looking at yesterday in maths? What were we doing with numbers yesterday? What were we thinking about? Have a think. Talk about it. Excellent. We were looking, weren't we, at putting numbers onto a number line, thinking about looking at how many tens it had, so which two tens numbers it might come between, and looking at how many ones it had to see whether it would come near the top end of the tens or the bottom end of the tens. So for example, if it was 48, is it going to go nearer 40 or nearer 50? You tell me. Tell the adult next to you. Right, so here on this number line, 48, is it going to come nearer? Is it going to come nearer 40 or nearer 50? Have a think and explain. Explain why. Where's it going to come and why? I'm hoping that you're able to explain that it comes nearer the 50 than the 40. And the reason for that is because it has 8 ones. And 8 ones is near to the 10, which means that we are nearer the next 10. Okay, so remember, there we go. So it's going to go here and it will be here. What about if I had the number 23? Is that going to go where? Which two tens is that going to come between? Why? And then think about where is it going to go between those two tens? And why? Okay, so we know it's going to come between 20 and 30 because 23 is bigger than 20 but smaller than 30. So we know it's going to come between those two numbers. Okay, now is it going to come nearer to the 20 or nearer to the 30, and why? This is where we look at how many ones it's got, and it's only got 3 ones. Okay, and 3, remember we said about the 5 being in the middle here, and 3 is before 5, isn't it? So that means it's going to come closer to the 20. So it's going to be about here. Okay, well done. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at some numbers and we're going to look at how we can put them in the right order. Okay, we're going to start thinking about going from the smallest to the largest. Okay, so that is ascending order, the smallest number to the largest number. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to write some numbers on my board. Okay, I've written 4 numbers on my whiteboard. Okay, now looking at the 4 numbers, when we are ordering, okay, we always look at the first number. So when we're ordering 2-digit numbers, we always look at the tens number first. Okay, so don't worry about the ones number at the moment. Look at the tens number first. Okay, so if we look at all the tens numbers, this one's got 3 tens, this one's got 2 tens, this one's got 1 10, and this one's got 4 tens. Now we don't need to look at the ones this time at all, because we can order them just by looking at the tens. Because if we're starting from the smallest number, we need to look at the smallest, the one that's got the least amount of tens. Okay, so if we look, we've got 3 tens, 2 tens, 1 10, 4 tens. So if we look very carefully, this one only has 1 10, so it's got to be the smallest number. So that one would come first when I'm ordering them. Okay, so that one would come first. Okay, which one would come next? Which one do you think would come next? And why? Explain to the adult why. Why do you think that number will be next? Have a think. Okay, so look carefully again. We've used this one so we can cross that one off. Okay, now we're looking at this one's got 3 tens, this one's got 2 tens, and this one's got 4 tens. So if we look carefully, this one is the next smallest because it's only got 2 tens. Okay, so we know that this one is going to come next. Okay, so we know now that 26 is going to come next. Okay, you see that? So now we can cross off our 26 because we've used it. Okay, we have 2 numbers left. We have 34 and we have 46. Which one is going to come next and why? Talk about it. Have a think. Okay, look at these 2 numbers. How many tens has this one got? 3. How many tens has this one got? 4. Okay, so we know now that this one has got to come first because it's only got 3 tens. Okay, so there we go, and we can cross that one off because we've used it. Okay, and then we only have one more to put in, and that is our 46. So now all of our numbers that were written in just a random order have now been put in an order from the smallest all the way up to the largest. Okay, and this is called ordering numbers. So we've ordered from the smallest to the largest. Okay, let's try a slightly more tricky one. Okay, so there's my next 4 numbers. Okay, now again, like before, we always look at the tens first. Okay, so we're going to look at the tens. This one has how many tens? 1. How many tens does this one have? 3. How many tens does this one have? 2. And how many tens does this one have? 3. Okay, so we're still going from the smallest to the largest, so we can straight away say which one is the smallest. Okay, so look at it carefully. 1 10, 3 10s, 2 10s, 3 10s. So immediately we know this one's going to be first because it's only got 1 10. So I'm going to write that one down because that is my smallest number, and then I can cross it off. Okay, then let's look again at the 3 numbers that are left. We've got 3 10s, 2 10s, 3 10s. Okay, look carefully. 3 10s, 2 10s, 3 10s. So this one only has 2 10s, so it's smaller than the other 2 numbers. Okay, so I know that one's going to be next. So I'm going to write that one down. There we go. And now I only have 2 left. I've got 32 and 34. Okay, now this is where we need to look at the ones as well as the tens. We always look at the tens first, so we can look at them and say 3 10s, 3 10s. Oh, hang on. They've both got the same number of 10s, so we don't know yet which one is the smallest and which is the largest. So then we need to move to looking at the ones numbers. Okay, so here, how many ones? 2. Here, how many ones? 4. Okay, so this one only has 2 ones. This one has 4 ones. So that tells me that this one is a smaller number. Okay, so this one is going to come before this one. Okay, so we're going to have 32 and then 34. Okay, so when you have a number that has the same amount of tens in it, then you look at the ones. Okay, and you will then be able to see which is bigger and which is smaller, depending on how many ones. Okay, so let's do a quick one, and we're going to think this time going in descending order. So we're going to go from the largest to the smallest this time. So we're going to start with the biggest number and go down to the smallest. Okay, so let me have a look. Let's see. Okay, so here are my 4 numbers. Have a look carefully at them. Say the 4 numbers. Now you tell the adult next to you, what do you need to look at first? It's the first thing you need to look at. What did Mrs. Dumont say? Good, fantastic. We look at the tens number first. Always look at that first number, the tens number. Okay, so if we look at these ones, we've got 4 10s here, 3 10s here, 4 10s here, and 2 10s here. Now remember, this time we're starting with the largest number, the biggest number. Okay, so look carefully. Okay, because we're not starting with the smallest, we're starting with the largest. So we need to look at the number that has got the most amount of tens. Okay, so look carefully. 4, 3, 4, 2. So straight away I can see that these 2 both have the same number of tens, and they both have the largest number of tens. Okay, so it's got to be one of these 2 that comes first. Okay, so who can remember, if they've got the same number of tens, what do we need to look at next? Good, we need to look at the ones number. Okay, so if we look here, how many ones has this one got? 2. How many ones has this one got? 8. So which one is bigger? Which one is larger? Is it the one with 2 ones or the one with 8 ones? It's going to be the one with 8 ones, isn't it? Because 8 is larger than 2. So we're going to start with 48. Okay, and then we know that 42 comes next because it had more tens than the other 2 numbers. Okay, now let's look at the 2 that we have left. How many tens here? 3. How many tens here? 2. So which one is larger? Which is the bigger number? Which one has more? It's going to be the one with 3 tens. So we're looking at putting 36 next. And then our last one is going to be the 21. Okay, so can you see how this time we have gone from the largest to the smallest? So when I set you your work, okay, on the PowerPoint, you need to look carefully whether Mrs. Dumont has asked you to go from the largest to the smallest or from the smallest to the largest. I will always put which way I want you to do it, which order, okay? Now some of you will probably be ready to move on to 3-digit numbers, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, if you're ready to move on to 3-digit numbers, fantastic. If not, that's absolutely fine. Okay, stick with the 2-digit numbers. 2-digit numbers is absolutely fantastic. Okay, so you don't need to worry if you don't feel ready to move on to the 3-digit numbers. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly show you a 3-digit number one before I leave you to go and get on with the challenges I have set you. Okay, so we're going to go back to doing smallest to largest this time again. So again, I will write smallest down to up to the largest. Okay, can you remember which order that is? Is that ascending or descending? If we're going from the smallest up to the largest, ascending, yeah, ascending. Same with our letters, we have the ascending letters and the descending letters. Okay, right, so this time okay, there's my 3 numbers. Becomes slightly more tricky when we have 3-digit numbers, okay, but again we always need to start with the first number. So we start with our hundreds this time. We need to look at our hundreds and see if there's any differences. Okay, so this one's got 100, this one's got 100, this one's got 100, and this one's got 100. So can we order our numbers yet? No, we can't, because they've all got the same number of hundreds. Okay, so then we need to look at the next number. We need to look at the tens. Okay, so this one's got 2 tens, this one's got 3 tens, this one's got 2 tens, and this one's got 4 tens. Okay, so we are going from the smallest to the largest. So if we look carefully at our tens numbers now, okay, can we find the smallest number just by looking at the tens? Have a talk, discuss it. Can we find the smallest number just by looking at the tens? No, we can't, because we've got 2 that have only got 2 tens. So then we need to look at our ones. Okay, this one has 4 ones and this one has 8 ones. Okay, so 4 ones, 8 ones. Which one is smaller? Why? Okay, this one is smaller because it only has 4 ones This one is slightly larger because it has 8 ones. Okay, so now we know it's going to be this one first, and then this one. Can't write today. It's 1 to 8. Okay, so we've got those two numbers in, and we can cross them off because we've used them. Okay, now can we order the last two just by looking at the tens? Discuss it. And can you explain why? Yes, we can, because this one only has 3 tens and this one has 4 tens. Okay, so we know that this one is smaller because it only has 3 tens. So that would come next when I was ordering, and then 149 would come last because it is the biggest number. Okay, it's the largest number of all four. Okay, only move on to 3-digit numbers if you feel ready. Okay, now I will leave you to get on with the challenges I have set on the PowerPoint for you, all to do with ordering numbers, either from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Remember to look carefully. Always start with the first number and then move along until you can order them. Okay? Okay, Year 1. I will see you again tomorrow for maths. Take care. See you soon. Bye.